Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Rainbow Goddess YouTube channel. I am Rosalie, and I am so excited and honored to be here with all of you today. I was so inspired to make this video, and I know so many of you are experiencing so much different energies, and you are really taking this time to navigate through some of those denser frequencies. And, maybe some of you are beginning to make your way through that portal and into the other side of what is possible, what is here for us, and this beautiful 1111 alignment that is here upon us. And I really do feel like there is this beautiful door that's opening for us to really allow us to step into this higher frequency bandwidth and octave, not only in our experience, but in our mindset, in our perception, in our way of viewing things. I can really feel this shift coming through, this increase in positivity supporting me in being able to see more clearly the divine love that is here for us, the power of co-creating with the universe, and the power of prayer and intention setting. There is so much beautiful energetic reminders that are moving through the field, supporting us and being able to connect to these higher remembrances and these greater truths that are deeply held within us. But for many of us, we took this path of self-discovery through, through the darkness or through the polarity spectrum. And I feel many of us are coming through this now. We are coming through this wiser, more embodied, more integrated in the self. And what it felt like to me, what many of us have been moving through, maybe this past year, has been like the stretching of a rubber band. And that rubber band has been extending itself out into the reaches to really call back those parts of ourselves and those ways of being that have really drifted off from the core center of who we are. And it kind of felt like we were stretching ourselves to really connect with those pieces and to call them back. And then I can feel how that elastic band has reached its capacity. And I can feel now that we are moving back inward towards the core self, towards the beautiful light that we really truly are. And we're wiser for it. And so I wanted to share that there has just been such an increase in positive frequencies of divine love and divine grace that I have been really feeling and connecting in with, reminding me to really connect with my intentions, how powerful it is when we can truly bring forward the divine intentions that we wish to create in our world and to hold the highest vision for ourselves and for our lives, for our health, our wealth, our well-being, and for everything that we wish to experience in this life. And so today I really wanted to speak in on that and the power of our ability to really co-create with the universe and to co-create with the beautiful, loving forces and frequencies that are here supporting the planet at this time. And so just recently I released on my YouTube channel a powerful prayer, really calling in the energies of divine grace and working with the angels of grace. And how potent it is when we really connect in with our hearts and we feel that love in our hearts, when we feel gratitude and we can pour that into the world when we speak it into being. When we pray, it really creates this very beautiful pathway and connection to source. And when we connect with the angels of grace, they amplify those frequencies of divine love, and they surround us in this loving source emanation that uplifts our spirits and uplifts us into these heavenly frequencies in our experience, so that we can really tap into that source consciousness that is deeply within us, but also really illuminating our divine pillar that allows for that direct channel to become more crystal clear. And so I really wanted to share on that, because I feel like prayer and intentions and working with the angelic realms and those beautiful divine frequencies are so overlooked so often for many of us. And it's really coming back around to remind us of the power of our voice and the power of our prayer and intentions and our invocations, and how this is how we can direct the energy that is moving through us all the time to a more positive and uplifting, empowering state of being. And so bringing forward your own prayers and speaking them into your life as soon as you wake up, the very first thing that you can tap into is the power of intention and the power of prayer. And, working with the angelic helpers that are here to amplify and support that, beautiful field of divine love. And so I really feel it's so important for us to uplift our spirits right now, to remind ourselves of the divinity within, and to connect into those higher frequency realms and octaves, so that we can really bring them here back to the earth realm, back into our everyday experience. So our life really becomes this moving prayer. And I know for myself, my most, deepest desire is for my life to be the reflection of the beauty of God in every moment, to experience the beauty even in the more challenging moments, but to invite and bring in that intention, to bring forward the beauty and grace of God into my experience, into my life. And that you can co-create with those frequencies and those energetics, whatever that is for you. And I know for me, whenever I tap into grace, it's really about that gentleness of love that we hold for ourselves. When we have grace for ourselves, we really can love and nurture ourselves and hold compassion for ourselves, which naturally helps us to be able to hold that same love and compassion and gentleness for others. And it's that feeling of connection to the planet and to our brothers and sisters and to the people on the street. When we hold the door for somebody, or we smile at someone, or we say thank you, to me that feels like grace. It feels like remembering that love is always within us and around us, and that we can choose it at any moment. When we do something kind for someone because we want to be that example in the world, reminding us of our light is powerful, especially when we have gone into the deepest, aspects of our shadow, and we've integrated ourselves into this wholeness and embodied state of being. And it's so powerful when we can harmonize our spirit and when we can connect with these purest frequencies of love. And so I really invite you all to feel into the energetics of what I'm speaking of, not just in the words, but in the expression and the feeling of it all. And really feeling into, inviting divine grace to envelope you in your life, and not being afraid to ask for assistance in your life or to ask for support from your higher self, your guardians, your teams, your angels, those who are here to support you and help you. And to know that when we set that intention that you're open to receiving, that more miracles and more blessings can come into your life. And I feel many of us go through these periods of our experience where we just try to shoulder it all ourselves. We try to do everything ourselves. We try to take on the weight of the world. We try to be strong and tough and brave and courageous and all of these things. But what it's really doing is just putting so much weight and pressure on you that it's crushing you, and no one's able to withstand that amount of pressure. So grace really enables you to let it go and to give it to, a higher frequency of divine love and source, and to enable you to be free from that burden, to call in grace, to call in love, to call in your guardians, your angels that are here to uplift you and empower you so that you can do what you came here to do. So that you feel that light of source behind you, propelling you forward. It is such a powerful gift when we can really connect into that frequency of grace and love and personal empowerment. So let me know if that resonates with you down in the chat. Feels so good to be here with all of you beautiful souls. And I just really felt inspired to share these messages, to share this joy that I've been experiencing since really tapping into this frequency that is so loving and so supportive. It really felt like this opening of this gateway, this 1111 portal. It just felt like this massive, energetic alignment of divine love and grace came ushering through to wrap around us and to hold us all. For those who are here, working their light, or here to bring the balance, or to support humanity with remembering who they are, I feel this massive energetic support that is here for us all. But we have to be willing to receive it and accept it. And it can only be accessed if we are willing and ready to receive the support. And that is what I feel this message really is about, is to remember not to shut out your blessings. Sometimes out of fear or belief that we are unworthy, or thinking that we need to do it all alone, or that life is hard or challenging or suffering, we block our blessings. Because that is what we are creating when we anchor that into our experience, and we forget to ask for help, and we forget that we are powerful, and that we co-create our reality, and that we can speak into being that which we wish to experience. That we can be weighed down by our life. We can be weighed down by the problems of the world. We can be weighed down by just life itself, and it can feel too heavy. And so I feel it's so important for us all right now to uplift our hearts, uplift our spirits, so that we can rise above it, that we can rise above the energetics of pain and suffering, so that we can see that there's always a solution, there's always another way, and there's always a path of grace. When we're experiencing anything in our life, whether it feels challenging, or we're going through a health crisis, or having challenging circumstances around finances, there is always the path of grace that lights up with love. Whenever I tap into it, I see it as the more beautiful path. And we can still feel challenged while walking the path of beauty. But would you rather feel challenged walking the path of doom and gloom, or feel challenged with so much love surrounding you? And I feel like that's what many of us are experiencing. It's like the angels of grace are like, I see you. I see you, and I see that you're struggling. I see that it's hard right now, and that you're finding yourself losing hope and losing faith, and not believing that there is a solution available for you. But the angels of grace and love are really just asking us to let them hold you in the highest love and light, and to hold you in so much peace and love, even if we can't see it. They can hold that for us until we're open to seeing it, till we're open to seeing the light and open to seeing the way through. And that's really what I feel the angels of grace are really, really here for. It's not to intervene or to, you know, not allow us to have our experience. We're all here to have our experience. But when the angels of grace come in, they actually just encompass you in beauty. And they begin to open flowers around you. And all of a sudden, it can just feel like peace is here, even in the challenges, even in the hard times. It's that moment when you feel like most alone, and then you feel loving embrace around you, letting you know that everything's going to be okay. And so do not block yourself out from receiving divine love or divine grace, or knowing that your intentions are powerful. And when you pray, the universe, God, source, the angels pray with you, and you have so much divine support around you, because truly we're in a time, a golden age of love. And so anyone who is creating love through their work, through their intentions, will be supported tenfold, because this is what this planet has called for, to bring the balance. So it is such potent, powerful, empowering work when we can really connect into that consciousness stream. And so feel into that. Feel into how good it feels in your soul and in your heart when you know you're in alignment, when you know you're doing the very thing that your soul came here to do, even if it feels simple, even if to you it's not a big deal, but to someone else, it could be what changes the whole course of their life. And that is the impact we must believe that we can have on the earth. And I believe that right now, that me just speaking to whoever's listening in the world, that this message found you for a reason, not a coincidence, but a divine synchronicity. And we need to really start remembering that synchronicities and divine connections are real, that these alignments that come in for us, they are not accidents. They are helping us, moving us towards ourselves and our light and our divinity, so that we can really embrace who we truly are. And the way that we really receive those messages are so often through other people, because their voices carry the energetics of exactly what we needed to hear today. And that is how Source works through us all. We are all conduits of this love, of this light, of this energy, because we're all truly one. We're all truly of the same family, of the same light, of the same source. And so it's really just you reminding you of this part of you that you maybe have forgotten. And that is your divinity, your innocence, your purity, your love, your joy. Joy is such a powerful manifesting frequency. For me, it's when my heart gets so full of love and light that it begins to burst into my higher heart in my throat. And then it just comes out like it wants to burst into song or burst into laughter or burst into light language. And we can access joy by filling our being and our heart and our higher heart with so much excitement of what lights us up that it just pours out of us. That frequency really is such a powerful transmuter as well of those lower energetics that weigh us down. And so, if you have felt weighed down lately, like you have been struggling and just moving through the mud and asking God, why? Really feel into this message. Feel into the divine love that is here for you and welcome it into your heart, beloved. Welcome it in, feel its embrace, feel your teams of love and support, the angels of grace wrapping around you and holding you and just giving you the biggest energetic, loving embrace. And in your heart, tap into gratitude. Thank them for their support. Thank them for being with you. Thank you, angels of grace, for shining your light upon my life and opening my heart, for opening my day up to love so that I may experience this greater joy that is here for me, so that I may be a greater light in this world, so that I may truly be and amplify that love out to all who receive my messages and who I speak to today. That is powerful. That is an invocation of power when you speak that out, when you express it in your heart tone and with feeling, when you connect that emotion with your words, it amplifies, it carries that resonance when you speak it and say it into being. This is true magic, really. And so that is also the reminder of being mindful of what we're speaking into creation, even if it's in conversation, asking your higher self to support you and filtering your words to be mindful of what you're creating, mindful of what you're speaking into the world and what you're anchoring through your words. I read something recently about anything you write down on paper in a journal or on social media, the universe is receiving those messages. You are basically putting that out into the world, and even if nobody sees it, the universe is reading it. The universe is seeing all that you write, all that you share. And so if you really think about your social media as a vision board for what it is you want to create, like sharing those positive, uplifting messages and sharing the joy in your life and sharing the happiness and sharing the things that you love, is just communicating to the universe your gratitude and that you're open to receiving more of that. I feel like there has been this interesting perception that positivity is fake, that it's not real if you're just happy all the time. And I want to speak into that because it's true. We all go through moments when we feel challenged by life, or we feel sad. But I don't ever feel like we're meant to feed into that energy, to play in that realm for longer than necessary. And I think sometimes we can really, spiral into the negativity. and create more negativity than necessary. And this is what I feel is so challenging to witness, because we're actually creating unnecessary suffering when we play into the negativity or we focus on it. And so really imagine, the universe coming to you every single day and ask you, what would you like to co-create today? And you place your order with the universe through your words, through your actions, and your behavior. And if your frequency that you're putting out is of love and wisdom and deep soul connection, and those energetics are present in your creations, that is what's going to come back to you. That is what you're ordering from the universe. Now, if most of the time you're ordering complaints and you're talking about the negativity in the world and you're sending that out and you're talking about other people and all the things that are going wrong, the universe is taking your order and bringing you more of that, right? That is how powerful we are, beloveds. So what are you ordering from the universe? Because there's always going to be an experience that we can focus on that feels negative. There's always a perception or a lens that we can view things through where really the cup feels half empty, right? We can really feel weighed down and pessimistic and find things to feel weighed down about or negative about, just the same as we can find things to feel uplifted and positive about too. It's all here for us, right? And the issue is we don't recognize that that's what we're creating. And so when we get weighed down by negativity, we begin to feel victimized. We begin to feel like the world is happening to us, even though we are the ones who consciously ordered that into our reality by speaking it into creation. We place that order. It's kind of like you ordering like expired fish, and then the universe brings you expired fish, and you're like, why did the universe bring this to me? And the universe says, you ordered it. So instead, how do we speak more love through our words and speak healing and speak optimism and positivity into our life, and to embrace that frequency until it's fully embodied? And watch your reality shift and change. Watch everything around you begin to create from that energetic. My favorite mantra is the universe, everything that is happening in the universe and everything that is be experienced by me is happening for me. And to recognize that everything in your experience is happening for you and co-creating with you, then you no longer feel like you're swimming upstream or that you're going against the tide, so to speak. You recognize that your life actually begins to move with you, and that you bring in the frequencies that are more supportive for you so that you can flow more with your life. And even when something feels challenging, how do we hold it in the highest love and the highest light? How do we see the wisdom in it? How do we see the beauty in it? Isn't that what we're all here to master? Because, of course, it's easy for us to feel positivity and divine love when we're being showered with divine love and positivity from our experiences. But when we hit a wall, when things take a left turn and we're not really anticipating that experience, how do we nurture that and create a buffer to not let it ruin our whole day, our whole week, our whole experience? How do we bounce back from it and really perceive it as just a small bump instead of a whole mountain. And so, really, it's powerful and profound how our shift in perception, our view of the world, can change in a second when we don't give power to negativity or opposition or fight or war or fighting conflict energies. When we simply bring in grace and love, we can see with more clarity a divine solution. We can redirect that energy. It's actually such a powerful tool when we redirect energy. And have you ever noticed, when you're training animals like dogs, or when you have children and they're doing something that you don't want them to do, instead of focusing on them doing that bad thing or negative thing, you redirect their focus to something else that's positive. So you're not actually putting energy into that thing, because sometimes what we focus on grows. So if we spend 10 minutes getting mad at the dog for chewing our shoe, we just put so much energy into that negativity and all of that emotion and spoke it into being and created it. But what if we redirected it to finding a toy that it can chew and replacing it and giving it something that it really wants instead, and then bringing positive situations, positive frequencies into our experience instead of focusing on the bad, the negative, the wrong? Yeah, so just a thought to really reflect for yourself. Where are the ways that I really feed in to the challenges? So I'm going to pull a card for us all to really illuminate these messages that have been coming through today. What is it that we most need to know? Moving through this 1111 portal and gateway. So we're open to receiving what is in the highest for us to know right now, what is most supportive for all of the viewers listening to really know at this time. And the deck that I am using is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. There's so much wisdom I feel in this deck, and I really connect into the animal totems and the beautiful guardians and angels and earth keepers that come through these cards. They're just beautiful. So what is it that we most need to know? So the card that came through was Star Ancestors. Follow the voice of your soul. It's so beautiful. I've actually pulled this card before, rather recently. And I love this card because it always reminds me that if we could view ourselves as the universe, we would see that it's just all connected. Like connecting the dots, like see those constellations, like seeing how it all comes together, how it all connects, how it's all part of the whole. And seeing how powerful we are when we can view ourselves as the universe, or view ourselves as co-creating with all the creation whenever we are wanting to manifest something. And this card is like, look into the stars and see yourself, see the cosmos, and see the divinity and the beauty that is out there, and see that it's also within you, that you are also all of it. And what a powerful gift that is, to remember that we are all the beauty that we see in the world. And the message is, follow the voice of your soul. not the voice of your mind, not the ego that is stuck in those loops of needing to be right, needing to prove, needing to suffer. I recently read something from one of Kyle Gray's books, and he was quoting another individual. I can't remember their name right now, but he was saying that ego is like an acronym for edging out God, which is really thinking about how we just turn away from the divinity when we feed into the negativity. And that's really all I really see. The ego is sometimes is just that monkey chatter in the mind that gets sort of caught up in the lower, denser emotions and thought forms. And so next time you feel yourself really playing into the negativity, just tell yourself that's just my ego edging out God. It really, really resonated with that. I love this card, and I feel that there is so much cosmic energy that's opening through this gateway as well. There's so much celestial energy. It's like very magical and very universal and very like cosmic, like the stars are aligning energy for all of us to really come together and to really express ourselves and to express and create into matter the visions and the ideas and the creations that our soul came here to create. It's like the universe is conspiring for us all to find our voices, to find our soul expression, and to anchor that into the world. It's like these pillars of light coming down from the heavens and opening these doors for us to really find the greater messages and the greater perceptions and perspectives that really bring in the wholeness of the picture. Because many of us have been looking at the tail of an elephant, wondering why am I looking at the butt of an elephant? you know, like what is the meaning behind that? Why am I going through this? And then the universe is like coming in and being like, no, look, you have the whole elephant here. And it's so beautiful. Look at this powerful, majestic creature. This is actually your guardian. You've not been looking at a butt of an elephant. You just haven't been viewing that this elephant is here to support you. And we've been kind of viewing it as like a negative thing when we haven't really been seeing the full picture of what's here for us. So that was just the image I got. Like, kind of, there's this beautiful, majestic creature, and all we're looking at is the butt. It's kind of that idea, like we're not really perceiving the beauty. We're not really looking for the truth in what that energy is. And so with this card, it's just emanating so much magic and celestial cosmic energy. And not forgetting to look up at the stars in awe, because that is how the universe looks at you. The universe looks at you and says, wow, what a beautiful creation. Wow, there is never going to be another person like this person, like you. And so, just like you look up at the cosmos and the stars and the planets and you think, wow, that is so beautiful, that is how the universe views you. So, how do we view ourselves that way? That's so beautiful. So, the next time you see beauty in the world, whether it's a beautiful tree or a beautiful mountain or a beautiful waterfall, pay attention to how it makes you feel. And then See the reflection, that is how Source, the universe, sees you. When you are looking out into beauty, beauty is looking at you and reflecting the same thing. I love that. All right, let's do one more from this deck. Let me know in the comments what messages resonate mostly with you. It's always supportive to hear feedback and to connect on this page with like-minded, like-hearted souls. All right, what do we most need to know? Oh, we drew the Druid card. It says, hold the space. And that is so powerful. Woo. I'm getting so much imagery of the tree guardians and how much space they're holding right now for all of us. These big, ancient tree deities that have been here since the creation of the planet. And they're just like, yeah, we never left. We literally have been here since the creation of the planet. So if you're looking for remembrance of who and what you are, look to the trees. They've been holding space for us this whole time. I always think that when I see a really old tree, I'm like, you've seen so much. That's why I think sometimes those trees, they begin to take different shapes and forms, like the ones that really become very unique in their shape and form. I always think they've seen a lot or they've witnessed a lot. And think about how powerful that is. Think about how ancient this planet is and how ancient the animal kingdoms, the earth kingdoms, the tree kingdoms, the plant kingdoms, the stone kingdoms, the mountains. Think how ancient everything is. It holds the code since the beginning of time. Wow. Can we just take a moment to really appreciate that? It's all here. Everything is here. When we connect with a tree, we're not just connecting with the tree, we're connecting with the ancientness of this beautiful planet. And consciousness moves through your consciousness, to connect with the consciousness of that tree. And you exchange codes and you exchange wisdom. It's powerful. Now, also see yourself as that ancient tree, because you are not just the single incarnation of your being. You know that you are the collection of all of your experiences. Your consciousness is vast and expansive. So your beautiful, perfect, tiny human body is holding the grandness of the universe in your consciousness within you. And we feel so small sometimes, don't we? Because we feel so fragile in these little human bodies. It's incredible. It's pure, divine source creation. Really, truly. Now, think of the power of knowing this truth, knowing that you are the whole universe wrapped inside your perfect human body. Now, think about how much space you can hold for your friends and family who are struggling right now, or who have lost that remembrance within themselves that they are powerful beings of creation. Now, think how powerful it is when we all come together and we hold that remembrance and we send that to the world and we shine that upon all of humanity, that we are powerful creators, that we are ancient beings of love and light, and we are here to bring the truth. We give them that opportunity to find that within themselves, just simply by being the way. Be the way. Just like the trees are like, we'll be here when you need us. If you've forgotten or lost your path, Come to us and we will remind you of who you are. And truly embrace that. Embrace nature to remember the truth of your being. I once had a vision that along our evolution as a human race, we decided to venture off on a path that took us away from the planet, away from ourselves in nature, to explore that avenue of what it felt like when we disconnected ourselves from the truth of our being. And when we were taking that path, and we decided we were going to venture into the density or the darkness, so to speak, the animals and the trees waited there at the beginning of that journey, and they said, "We will be here for you. When you have lost your way, when you've forgotten, or if you've gone too far away from yourself, we will be here loving you and supporting you and guiding you back to us, back to yourself, so that you will never forget who you are." And that is the gift that creation granted us. It has given us this beautiful earth, this beautiful planet, this beautiful creation, so that we would never forget who we are, so that when we look into the world and we see beauty, we remember that we are that. We are all of it. We are not separate from it. And the more that we can reconnect ourselves back to that, the more that we remember who we are. And so the next time you connect with the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom or the tree kingdom, just think, wow, thank you. Thank you for reminding me who I am and for holding this space for us so that we could experience this separation to come back to wholeness. It's so sweet. It's so beautiful to forget and then to remember, isn't it? Oh, what a gift. What a gift it was when we all remembered that we are divine love. Wasn't it the most beautiful gift when you remembered your connection to source and that you were an infinite being, that you were eternal, and that you did not fear death because you knew that death was just another beginning to a new journey? And so that is really the gift that is all around us at this time. There's so many blessings and so much for us to remember. And it's in the simplicity of the trees. If you can hear it from the trees and in the wind and in the earth, you know the messages are pure. As soon as it becomes so complicated that the human mind is feeling like it's going to burst because it doesn't know how to categorize all the information that you just took in, that's how you know it's not wisdom of the planet. It didn't come from the trees or the planet itself. It's a human creation, because only the mind can complicate things so much that we don't understand them. Only the mind creates these mazes and labyrinths within ourselves where we get so lost. But creation, as complex and amazing and mysterious as it is actually quite simple because you are it. You understand it because you are it. You can't not understand something that you are, right? When you first experienced love, you knew what it was. You didn't need someone to define it for you, right? You didn't need a definition. When you first fell in love and you could feel that connection, that special connection with another person, and you knew that they were the one you wanted to be with, you didn't need to analyze it or understand it or ask why this person. You just knew that it was right in your heart. That is the simplicity that we must return to, especially at this time when there's so much information out there in the world. Look to nature, ask for guidance to support you with coming back into that wisdom within yourself. This is what the Druid card is for, because the Druids were incredible messengers of the planet and knew how to live in connection with the elements, with the trees, with the plants, with the earth kingdoms. They knew how to merge their essence with the planet so that they were one. There was no separation. It was powerful. It was powerful and empowering because we knew the cycles. We knew what was coming. We knew that after winter came spring. We knew when it was time to grow plants, and we knew when it was time to harvest, because we followed the patterns of the earth. We followed the patterns of nature. We followed the patterns of the stars. We were never out of alignment with anything because we already knew what was going to unfold for us. So it's so powerful when we come back to that. What a gift to remember this truth. You know why we feel so unhappy? Because we're sitting inside a box all day, staring at a window, feeling separation between us and the planet. We were meant to be one with nature because we are nature. And this is such a big, powerful message right now. I love that card. I could probably talk about this card for like another 2 hours, but let's just bring in one final card to close out our 1111 gateway message and activation. So I have this final deck here, and this is the Ballantine Oracle. And I love this deck. It is imbued with so much golden energy and honeybees. I wear a golden honeybee necklace. I just love the frequency and energy of bees. There's so many divine messages for us in the animal kingdom and the insects. I've always connected in with bees. I just love them. I don't know what it is. Do you love bees? And there's something that's so royal and so abundant about them. They produce all their own honey, and it's like golden. It's like liquid gold. So let's just tap into that frequency right now, liquid gold, as you bring in the messages from this Ballantine Oracle. Or Beltane. It's to do with the seasons of the Witch Oracle. I'll show you. Again, connecting back to nature and the seasons. All right, what do we need to know? What is our final message to share with everyone today? All right, we got the Pegasus card. It says, "Break free, dear one, spread wide and far, for you aren't containable, you are limitless." Oh, I love that. Break free, dear one, for you aren't containable, you are limitless. Yeah, what a powerful reminder, because I feel that brings us back to the beginning when we spoke about releasing and breaking free of our own self limitations and the ways that we confine ourselves. I'll share with you this one final vision that I had where I was seeing myself standing in the middle, and there were 4 doors, one in front of me, one behind me, one to my left, and one to my right. And at first glance, you think, oh, wow, I have 4 options. That's great. Wow, 4 options. I can move through any door right now. And then my higher self brought me to the bird's eye view, and I was viewing myself from above. And I was seeing that those 4 doors was just a box. And then those doors like fell down. And then I just saw the whole like planet. I saw the mountains. I saw all of this like free flowing hills. And I realized that those 4 doors, those 4 options that I thought were like available to me, was just another limitation. It was just another way that I was perceiving, like, oh, these are my 4 options. And to the human mind, I'm like, great, I have 4 options. But to the universal God mind, I'm like, actually, you have limitless options. You don't need to move through any of those because you have the whole entire earth plane. And so I feel like this is what this card is reminding us of. Sometimes we can limit ourselves in thinking that the options are either A, B, C, or D, when in reality there's infinite opportunities for plenty of options to come through, and that we do not need to limit ourselves to 1 or 2 choices. So my prayer for all of you is that you fully perceive that there are infinite possibilities for you to experience in this lifetime, and that you can truly co-create anything your heart desires, anything. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this beautiful activation, messages from the universe, messages from our beautiful angels of grace, and all of the beautiful frequencies that supported this transmission. I love you all so much, and I hope that you have the most beautiful, epic, amazing 1111 portal gateway. And I'm sending you all a big hug. And yeah, for all of those who are going to be joining us on Wednesday for our community call with my beloved Richard, we are actually doing a beautiful transmission to connect with the tree guardians and the tree elders. And this beautiful transmission is going to actually bring us into the Akashic records, where we're going to actually connect with the ancient elder trees and see what they would like to share with us, and to really feel into any messages that are needed to be brought through to support us at this time. So if that feels of interest to you, I will post the link to register down below, and really come join us and be a part of this experience where we get to come together and co-create in these uplifting positive frequencies, as it amplifies tenfold when we all come together. So I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. Have the most beautiful day. Aho, namaste, and blessed be.